Hi, my name is Kara McKinney, and I will be presenting the results of the conflicts from the experiments in the group conflict conducted by muzafer sherif. There are no general factors that have influence on the attitude of any group toward each other, no formal guidance or direction from the experiments. The group's organization and attitude evolved naturally. The first conflict to occur to the group of boys was that they were randomly selected into new groups, separating them from their newfound best friend that they met at the beginning of camp. The result was that each group formed an informal and spontaneous organization. The boys pooled their efforts, their organizational duties, and divided up tasks in work and in play. The boys quickly formed nicknames for each other, their own jargon, their own jokes, secrets, and a special way to do a task. Team names were also given, and boys who did not do things the right way or contributed were even given the silent treatment or threatened. The next conflict to occur was the boys were given a target and were told to practice for an upcoming baseball game. The boys who were less popular and were lower rank were underestimated in their ability to hit the bullseye, while the boys who were more popular and higher ranking in the group were overestimated in their ability to hit the bullseye. The next conflict that occurred for these groups of boys was that they were going to have a cookout in the woods. Unfortunately, the boys had to prepare their food from scratch. The result of them preparing their food was that they jumped into action. For some boys prepared the fire, some boys prepared the hamburger patties, some did the hamburger buns, the condiments, and the soda. One boy who was standing there doing nothing was told to get to it by some of the older boys that were already contributing. A low-ranking boy took a knife and was attempting to cut some melon, while a higher-ranking boy took the knife from the lower-ranking child and told him, "You guys who yell the loudest, get yours last." Another conflict that occurred with these groups of boys was that the experimenters wanted to produce friction between the groups through a tournament of games. The result of them putting on a tournament of games for these two groups of boys was that the teams started calling each other names, such as stinkers, cheaters, and sneaks. The boys refused to have anything to do with the other group. They also turned against their supposed best friends that they met at the beginning of camp, and rival groups made threatening posters and planned raids on the other group. Within the groups, solidarity increased, while morale and cooperativeness became stronger. The experimenters then put a breakdown in the water supply. They informed both teams of the water problem, and both groups volunteered to search the water line for the problem. The result was that both groups worked harmoniously together and corrected the problem. Finally, the last conflict that occurred at the camp was that the camp informed the boys that they could not afford to rent a movie for them to watch together. Both groups gathered together to access how much money they had in total. After doing so, both groups decided on a movie by a vote, got the movie, and watched it together as one harmonious group. Some reasons for conflict in this experiment in group conflict with the boys at the camp was that the boys' housing was spurred by segregation, the competition to be the best in work and in play, but harmony was created by a common goal, interest, and thinking as a group mentality. people compete for scarce resources, there is a rise in hostility between the groups. Prejudices and animosity toward another group when competing for the same resource. Since this experiment, working intergroup socialization is one of the most effective way to reduce outgroup prejudice and discrimination.